All right, we are continuing our preparation for our next big project this week by making a window. Stay tuned and see how simple and easy this is to do. Alright, so I've done some prep work ahead of time. I cut my piece of plexiglass to 4.5 inches square because that's the size I want for my window for my project. I will, in a later blog post, talk about how to size this to your structure. We are going to build something around our window and door rather than making our window and door fit an existing project. I've also pre-painted some pieces of strip wood and some skinny sticks. And what I used was some ceramic coat in light ivory, and then I coated them with the same satin Mod Podge we used last week. I'm leaving the protective plastic stuff on the back side of this. I also drew myself out a diagram because we are going to insert the interior pieces of wood onto our window. And this is the easiest way to do that. So what I did, I drew a square the size of my plex approximately, and I'm going to tape this down over my diagram. And all this is a 4.5 inch square on a piece of graph paper. You could do it on a piece of plain paper. I just find drawing things like this on graph paper much easier and much more accurate. Now, I have a piece of wood. I'm going to go vertically first. So, let's see, I've got, okay, cut something long enough that it's longer than what I need. And I also spent some time yesterday doing a glue test, and I found that of the glues I have, the Beacon 3-in-1 seemed to work the best. And by glue test, what I mean is I took a scrap of the same plexi and I took some scrap wood and I tried gluing it on, and I saw what worked best. And as of this morning, the piece I glued on with the Beacon is still in place. It's still tight. I'm not sure long term how that's going to work, but for short term anyway, it seems to be holding better than anything else I had. You'll need a glue that is compatible with the plastic, that won't fog your plastic because that can be an issue. Now you'll notice I made my lines longer than my window. That's so that I can make sure I'm centered over them. Now I'm going to cut a couple of pieces a little longer than what I need here. I didn't quite paint enough. I am going to have to paint another piece. So I will get this piece down and then I have to paint more of my stick. I didn't want to paint all of it, but I am going to have to paint another chunk and get that dry so that I can, that's the side I have finished. Try not to have your glue coming over. And in your glue test, that will also tell you if your glue will fog your plastic. That's another limitation we have, is some glues, well, that's not straight. That did not cut straight. There. Now I have it cut straight. Sometimes glue will fog plastic, so to make sure it's not going to fog, I am going to have to get just a little more of this painted and finished, and then when I have that done, I'll glue it down. And all right, now this has had time to dry, so we are going to pull it. And I got this one finished and put on, so that side is done. Now, this off, put it off to the side in case we need it later. And I am just going to use a knife. Oops. This is why I have not pulled this piece of the protective coating off yet, because I didn't want to take a chance on scratching my plexiglass while I was doing this part. A razor blade would probably be easier to do this with, but I don't have one. And I don't want to go sideways because pull this knife blade because the glue is not completely dry. It still has a little bit of give to it. All right, those are all done. Now let's find, hopefully, an emery board. Ah, it's over here. All right, now I'm going to take an emery board. I'm supporting the piece of wood so that it doesn't come loose. Be very careful you don't scratch your plastic. You don't want your window scratched. Now, we are going to get out the gluing jig again, which I just knocked on my foot. Now, I do want to pull this plastic off. Now, it's because we don't want to glue this on. Move this forward. And I am going to take one of these skinny sticks that I painted, and I am going to glue it along this side right here. Let's see, first I am going to mark, whoops, how long I need it, and cut it off. All right. Now, let's see if I can get my glue open, since I forgot to leave it laying on its side. This glue works pretty well even when you don't remember to lay it on its side. There. And now I'm going to let that glue set up. When that's set up, we will come around, we'll put this one on, and then the other two. So I'll be back when the glue dries. Alright, so that glue is set enough that we can move on. I do have some glue, oh, it just wipes right off. So we're going to turn this now. We'll have to clean our window when we get all done. Get this put in there, and then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to cut this to length. Oops. And then I'm going to glue this on this side, and when this glue is dry, I'll be back and we'll put the other two edges on. Alright, now that our glue is set up on that second side, I have cut two pieces that will fit across the ends. And they are cut so that they fit perfectly from the outside edge of each of these. So we are going to glue these on and clamp it and then let it dry completely. The others are not completely dry. Come on, glue. There we go. Now we are never going to see the inside side of our window. So I'm not concerned about fixing this so that the inside is finished off. That's not a concern because of the way I'm using this. soon we will be seeing what you'll be seeing what I am making next. Or if you were a patron subscriber, you'd already know, because I told them in the newsletter for the month what the next project is going to be. So that's another advantage they get. Those emails that they get from now on are going to be giving them a sneak peek at what's going on the channel. So we've got glue here. And now we are going to put this in. And it's okay if this isn't perfect. This is not actually going to show. We're going to see this part. We are going to have window trim framing this. We are going to see this edge of what we just put on, but not the front edge. That will be covered by our outside exterior trim on our structure. So we're going to let this glue dry, and when this is dry, I will be back and we will go on to what comes next. All right, so here is our window all completed and ready. I am not going to do anything other than maybe clean it up a bit, clean the glass up a little bit before I insert it into our project that will be starting next week. So this is how it works. Since we're not seeing the back again on this project, I'm not worried how the back looks. If I was worried about that, I would add some more trim strips right over the back of these, and that would be fine. So the only other thing, I'm going to have this set aside. This is the same trim strip as for the door. I'm pretty much planning on using this for both pieces. This around the window and that one, and then also around the door. And next week we can start on our project. And be sure and check the blog post for photos and any cutting sizes. If you haven't found the Facebook, I encourage you to do that. And if you'd like to help support this channel and make it better, check out my Patreon page. The link to all of that is in the description box, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.